Today, I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why becoming a freight broker today is a good investment in your future. Matter of fact, it's a great investment in your future. And I'm going to share with you 4 dynamics and 4 reasons why. The first reason is, and there's going to be a story behind this, is it's better to sell shovels than to dig for gold. Now, let me explain to you what I mean by that. All right. I got a lot of notes to go over here. Okay. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. It's better to sell shovels than it is to dig for gold. Now, you might recall I think it was 1849, there was a California gold rush, right? There was a gold rush. Everybody's heard about the gold rush. Well, in the United States, of course. And so the fact is, very few prospectors ever made any money, ever got wealthy, ever even found any meaningful amount of gold. Very few, okay? There was a huge hysteria for everybody to go west for this gold rush, right? There was tons of people, prospectors and people trying to, win fame and fortune by finding the gold mines and to finding gold. And the gold rush is well documented, but the fact is most people that went on that journey never discovered any gold and actually went broke. Okay, many of them went broke and never ever recovered. But the people that made money during the gold rush were the people that were selling shovels and pickaxes and supplies to those prospectors. Okay, so they were actually selling the supplies. That's why I say selling shovels is better than digging for gold. Now I'm going to put this all together. I'm going to share with you the lesson here and the reason why I think this is important. Consider this. There was a couple of businesses that did extremely well during that gold rush. One was Levi Strauss. They sold jeans, right? You needed jeans. You couldn't have dress pants. You couldn't do shorts. You couldn't have flip-flops, which probably didn't even exist back then. But jeans were a very popular item, and Levi Strauss tapped into that trend and did extremely well. Another one was a gentleman by the name of Samuel Brannan. He owned the general store at Sutter's Mill. He sold general supplies. He sold the supplies to everybody that was going out to the mountains and streams to prospect for gold. And he did extremely well, right? So my point is, let me bring this full circle here. With the startup craze and the entrepreneurial craze that's been going on, particularly the last 5 or 10 years, right? My suggestion to you, right, is sell shovels. Don't dig for gold. Okay. So what I mean by that is rather than you trying to come up with the next product or the next service or the next app or the next Uber or the next Facebook or the next Google or the next Amazon or the next great product, okay? Rather than you trying to speculate and dig for gold, my suggestion to you is sell shovels. And becoming a freight broker or a freight agent is a perfect example of selling shovels and pickaxes because you are the backbone of what drives those businesses, but you're not speculating. You're tapping into an established trend, okay? So we know that there's going to be more products shipped next year than there was this year. Okay. And so the fact is that trend continues to grow, and that's job security. So first reason why selling shovels is more profitable than digging for gold. All right. Just like in the gold rush, selling shovels and becoming a freight broker, freight agent can be highly profitable, even more profitable than digging for gold, because people that dig for gold and or try to create the next app or Facebook, most of them are going to fail. Okay. All right. So that's reason number 1. Number 2, there is a well-known, well-established, and long-standing driver shortage in the industry. Okay. The industry is short drivers. Now, depending upon who you ask, that could be anywhere between 100,000 and 200,000 shortage of drivers. Now, why is there a shortage of drivers? Well, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, most of the drivers are baby boomers, right? And the baby boomer generation is retiring. So drivers are retiring at a faster rate than the industry is able to recruit them, predominantly because young people that are in their 20s and 30s don't want to be truck drivers. It's not Instagram. It's not Facebook. It's not trendy. It's not sexy. And to be honest with you, it's a tough job and it takes work. And so they're having a hard time recruiting truck drivers, new truck drivers, faster than they're retiring. That's number one. Number two is retention. People that do get brought into the industry as a driver, a lot of times they don't last very long. They turn over, right? So they can't retain those new drivers. The reason being low pay, tough lifestyle, hard job. All right. So what's happening now is the rates and the salaries and the compensation for truck drivers are starting to ramp up. Now they've been ramping up for years, but they're really starting to rapidly ramp up now. So there's a huge shortage of drivers. And when there's a shortage of drivers, what that means to brokers is that shippers have a harder time moving their freight when there's less drivers on the road than when there's more drivers on the road, because there's more access to capacity. This is where freight brokers and freight agents come in, because you as a freight broker, freight agent, you are the person who helps them manage and navigate and identify and generate truck capacity for their shipments. They don't have time to make 100 phone calls to try to cover a load. They don't have time to monitor a load board all day long and just try to hopefully come up with a truck of somebody who may have never been vetted or have any real experience. That's why freight brokers and freight agents exist. So that driver shortage is a perfect dynamic on why you want to start a freight brokerage today, okay? Because that dynamic gives you a launch pad to be more valuable to shippers around the world, okay? Particularly in the US, but around the world, all right? So that's reason number two. Reason number three is just glaringly obvious, right? The population today, or the population tomorrow, is going to be more than it is today. As a fact is, in the next decade, they're anticipating about a 1 billion person growth in the global population. In the next decade, there's going to be over 1 billion more people on this planet than there is today. Now, let's just do the math. If there's 1 billion more people 10 years from now, are there going to be more people buying products, selling products, consuming products, building homes, building, businesses? Are there going to be more people that are going to be building, consuming, and buying products 10 years from now or today? Well, I mean, it's obvious, right? The bigger the population, the bigger consumption of goods, the more consumption of goods, the more transportation, the more freight and logistics becomes a more valuable tool. So that trend is not going down. It's not going down, it's going up. Okay. So that's, again, more job security, because we're going to have over 1 billion new people on this planet in the next decade. So that positions you for success. Okay. So that's reason number three. And reason number four, this is something that a lot of people don't think about, but technology, the advancements in technology, including the internet, including load boards, including rating tools, including transportation management systems, including tracking systems, including artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of those advances in technology have leveled the playing field and made the small broker equally as valuable as the big broker. It's even the playing field. Now, when I started back in 2003, technology sucked. There was very little good technology out there, right? There was some load boards, but TMSs weren't great. And that's what caused me to go build my own TMS, invested over $1 million in building our own transportation management software. If I started today, I wouldn't have to do that. And I would just plug into some existing transportation management software and technology that was out there, because back in 2003, C.H. Robinson and all the big brokers had the advantage because they had a lot of capital to deploy and they had talent to create technology. So the difference in technology between where they were and where I was when I first started was huge, okay? But I had to invest over $1 million just to bring myself up to that level. Today, if you start today, you guys are almost parallel, because the transportation management software, the load boards, again, the rating tools, the tracking software, the AI, the machine learning, everything that's going on in technology has evened the playing fields for the small broker, for the startup broker. Okay. So those are my 4 reasons really quick. Shortage of drivers. Well, wait, no. Number 1 was selling shovels is more profitable than digging for gold. Number 2, the driver shortage. Number 3, the population is going to grow by over 1 billion people in the next 10 years. And number 4, technology has evened the playing field for the small guy, for the startup freight broker and freight agent. So those are 4 reasons why becoming a freight broker or a freight agent today is a great investment in your future. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, and you're curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. We offer a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. It's well known to be the most cost-effective and comprehensive online freight broker training program. Been in business over a decade. We've trained well over 8,000 students by this point. And I personally created the training, and I'm a broker who's done over $200 million in sales as a broker. Okay. And then went on to sell my brokerage. So I've had Freight Broker Bootcamp for over a decade. Feel free to check that out if you want to learn more about how to get trained as a freight broker or freight agent. Okay. Appreciate it.